Everyone, Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is I'm fixing to answer your questions. As you guys know, I put out a little question out on my community post. For those of you who don't know what that is, if you go to my main YouTube channel, and you can see there's words scrolled across the top, and one of those words right underneath the cover shot, there's words scrolled across the top, and one of them says community. And if you click on the community, then you can see some posts that I've put up. And I put up a post there last week asking for 20 questions, or asking for you guys if you had any questions. And I said I would take the first 20, and then after that 20, then I'll start collecting them for next week. And also, if you have more questions after I'm done this, you can ask me questions in the comment section of this video. So, we can keep this going for a while. As long as you guys have questions, I'll be glad to answer. I'm an open book, pretty much, and I'll tell you if I'm not willing to tell you something. Well, I really don't have anything to hide. So I did collect 20 questions, and I know I have a couple more. I haven't been in this morning to check again, but I will be collecting. Vicky, as a matter of fact, I know you asked me one, so yours will not be in with this group, because I first come, first serve kind of, and I took the first 20 I got. And then after that, I'll take the next 20 and so on. And we'll do this for as long as you guys have questions. So first, let me say that before I get started here, and I don't want to yammer on a long time about this, but I do want you to hear me say that I don't make my videos with anything frivolous in mind. I'm trying to bring you guys content, trying to keep myself busy, trying to keep myself out of the doldrums, as we, traverse through this COVID-19 isolation kind of thing, And, I'm trying to bring you guys content and entertain you a little bit, and hopefully put a smile on your face, give you a little chuckle. But I don't ever want to diminish what is going on in our world right now, not just in the United States where I'm from, but in our world. And I understand that we are all being affected by this, that we are all being touched in some way or another. I hope you don't have any loved ones who are being touched, or anyone that you know who's actually has COVID-19 and is either fighting the battle or, God forbid, lost the battle. And my hearts go out to all of you, and know that I keep you all in my thoughts and prayers as I answer these questions, which may seem, kind of funny. So, my answers may seem kind of funny, and I might get jovial or whatever, but you know what? I have to be me. I have to be me, and I'm not a person to sit around and be, down in the dumps. I've got to be happy. I've got to keep my spirits up, I've got to find a way to keep my spirits up, because it's really easy to fall into a depression, and to fall into a sadness, a time of sadness. And I don't want any of us to do that. We've got to keep our chins up. As I say, we have to keep looking up and have faith that this is all going to pass. This too shall pass, you guys. Okay, I'm going to talk myself into crying. So let's get started here. Okay, my first question was from Adriana D. I've got you can see my questions here. Like, I have them really blown up. Okay, she says, hugs and kisses from Dubai. This is Adriana, originally from Romania, 31 years old, and she's a flight attendant. Do you have any meal recipes for Easter Day that you do traditionally? We really don't. I know a lot of people do pork, and some people don't do pork, but we really don't. Several years in a row, we've gone up to Stacy's actually for Easter, and she just has ham usually, or even hamburgers and hot dogs. We had one time on the grill, had a cookout, kind of thing. We don't have any traditional dishes that we make for Easter. So we really don't have anything traditional, and Chris and I will be having a very quiet Easter here this year. I don't even know what we'll have. We may do something special, but you know, I'll be watching my cousin at his church. That's what I'll be doing, and that morning. And after that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we'll be doing. But we don't have anything planned right now. We don't have anything planned. You're going to see this after Easter, so, you know, I can tell you we don't have anything planned, so I'm sure it wasn't anything special. But usually it's a family time for us. Usually, you know, when things are right, we usually get together as a family, my extended family, and we usually all get together and have a meal, you know, usually it's at Stacy's, because Stacy is more in a central location than I am to invite outside family members, or, you know, aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff. I live the furthest away from everyone here in Virginia, so it's just frustrating sometimes, you know. I have to say, not frustrating, but sad, you know. It makes me sad sometimes. So anyway, that was number 1. Thank you, Adriana, for that question. Okay, number 2, Brenda, and I know I'm going to butcher your last name, sweetie. Elosqui. I'm sure I butchered that. I'm so sorry, but thank you for this question. And she said, "Hi, Sunshine. I would like to watch you prepare one of your husband's favorite meals. Would you?" She said, "Love, Brenda E. Louise." Yeah, I can. I think I might have some stuff here to do lasagna. So if you guys would, that's one of his favorites. So, you know, maybe next week or the week after, you know, if I get my druthers about me and have all the ingredients. I'm not sure if I have all the ingredients. In fact, I know I don't have ricotta cheese right now. So if we can pick up all the ingredients, then yes, I'll make, you know, I can do lasagna on camera. That's one of the things that I haven't done on camera. A lot of my tried and true recipes I have in a playlist. If you go to the search box, you know, on my main page there, my main channel page, and do a search for recipes, you'll see a great couple of series with Stacy and I. My cousin, my first cousin, Stacy, we have a great time in the kitchen together. We get cooking together and stuff. So, you know, take a peek at those. They're really fun to watch and not extremely long. And, you know, I also do, I have many recipes that I've cooked on, you know, on my channel. So feel free to do a search in the meantime, between now and whenever I get to my lasagna. I don't do anything special with the lasagna either. It's another easy recipe. I'm not a real gourmet cook. Chris is the gourmet cook in the family. I am not, but you know, I'm a good cook. I cook very well. I mean, you know, I've been cooking a long time, you guys. You know, with practice, you know, you get pretty good. So there you go, Brenda. So I'll try to do that coming up. Okay, number 3 is from my sweet Miss Lydia, Lydia Knight. Hi, Lydia. How are you doing? I love you, Lydia. Oh, my goodness. Lydia and I have met in person. She was on our group cruise to Alaska back in May of 2019, and I was privileged to meet sweet Lydia. Sweet, 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 sweet lady. And she said, "What are your family Easter traditions?" Well, I kind of just said, now when the girls were little, a traditions with church, of course, but also, in addition to that, you know, the story of Jesus, and to know, you know, why we celebrate Easter, you know, and we celebrate his resurrection and so on. But also, you know, we would hide eggs. Have a little story for you. We would dye eggs, you know, the day before, a couple days before. And we'd put out the eggs, you know, at night, and some carrots on a plate for the Easter bunny, you know. And we would write a note, you know, scribble a note. We would scribble a note and say, you know, from the Easter bunny, or thank you, or whatever, and kind of nibble off a piece of the paper for the morning, you know. And then they'd have their Easter baskets, you know, in the morning. And I always did pretty elaborate, you know, Easter baskets, whatever I could afford, really. Well, not elaborate, but, you know, whatever I could afford. And one morning, though, when we still had our golden retriever, Shelby, this was our very first dog. We had a golden retriever. Well, Chris and I had diligently hidden the eggs all over the house, you know, not outside. It must have been a rainy, you know, because sometimes we'd hide them outside, but it must have been a rainy year or something. We hid them all inside. And we said, "Okay, girls, off you go. Go and, you know, search for your eggs. See what you can find. See where they are. Let's go look, you know." And they're running around and they're looking for the eggs, and there were no eggs to be found. And we're like, "What in the world? Where are all the eggs? Where are all the eggs?" we figured out Shelby had found them and eaten them all. Bless her heart. Thank God she didn't have any trouble with eggshells are not very digestible. Bless her heart. But she ate them, every one of them, a whole dozen. She never had any health problems after that. Thank goodness. But Shelby ate all the eggs. Anyway, so we just told him that the Easter Bunny hid the eggs for Shelby that year, and that Shelby was the happy recipient of all of their eggs and all of their hard work, and that aren't you glad that you worked so hard? Oh my land, what a mess. So that was a fun Easter tradition. So but that's about it. I mean, So thank you, Lydia. Thank you for that question, honey. Okay, number 4 from Rhonda. I'm sorry if I got that wrong too, honey. Johnson. Hi, will you ever get another dog again? And if you do, what breed? I am hoping that we will get more dogs. Well, we've already talked about it. For now, we're not going to get any more dogs because we have more traveling. Lord willing, we'll be able to travel again. But, right now, we want to be able to do that. We don't want to burden our daughter with coming here to stay, with any animal that we might have. Now, if we got a smaller dog, we could probably take it to her, to Candace. But when we had the Noofs here at the house, they were just way too big for them to go visit anywhere else. And I wouldn't put that on anybody else for them to come into their homes. They were just way too big and they needed their space and it wouldn't have been good. So, but we do plan eventually when we're not doing so much traveling, to get, I don't know what breed, probably not a Newfie. As much as we'd love to have another giant breed, we probably won't, just because my 2 Noofs, they took part of my heart. And I don't think I can do that again. And in fact, I'm still so sad about Sam. It's so hard. I mean, I know that they give you so much joy, but right now I couldn't, for one thing, just for that reason, I couldn't have another one. But I will say, in isolation, I have missed Sam so much. He was such a companion to me. He was my buddy, Some of the breeds, though, that I love are the Golden Retriever, of course. I love Golden Doodles. Our neighbor has a beautiful Golden Doodle. I love her. She sits outside and just sits there as pretty as a picture. I love Golden Doodles. I think they're pretty. I wouldn't do a Noof Doodle. Wouldn't do that. Wouldn't mix a Noof. I have a problem with that in my psyche, I also like the King Charles Spaniels. I think they're adorable. They're a little, like a medium-sized to small dog. And one of Chris's aunts has those, and there's a breeder here in our area apparently for those. So that might be something that I might look into. We might look into. But I don't know. I don't have I really love the Newfoundland. I really love the Newfoundland. It would be really hard, but they're so big and so hard just to get to the vet, just to get, it's just in their health, and it's just, so. But one of these days we hope to, yes. One of these days we hope to. I have been literally the first 6 years of my life and 3 years between when we lost our German Shepherd that I had as a child, Nikki. We lost her when I was 17, and between 17 and when I was 20, and we moved into our first house, Chris and I moved into our first house, I went 3 years without a dog. After that, we had Shelby, and we had all of the dogs that we had all through the years and up until Sam. So 36 years of dogs. Honestly, and plus Nikki my whole life. So it's really hard for me to be without a dog, and Chris too. Both of us have always had a pet, always. So it's very quiet still. It's very strange, to be without a pet. So one of these days we will. Okay, so number 5 from Bev Moore. She says, you have such a beautiful home. Do you have a cleaning schedule or routine that you follow? Because it always looks amazing. Your wood furniture just shines and looks brand new. Also, if God puts it in your heart, listening to you sing one verse of your favorite song would be very uplifting to your viewers. I can visualize you walking through your home singing. And I do that sometimes, actually. Thank you so much, Bev, for those sweet words and that question. Oh my goodness. I just sang in a video last week. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a link down below, or it was the video where I did my funky bow, my 10 loop funky bow tutorial. Y'all could find that easy. It's just a couple videos ago. So I did do that. Couple 3 videos ago. So I did sing, there's a roof up above me, I've got a good place to sleep, there's food on my table and shoes on my feet. You gave me your love, Lord, and a fine family. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. And I don't mean to sing the same thing again, but that's what I sang last week. I love it. I love that. That's one of our family's favorite hymns because it was our grandma's favorite. As far as my floor goes, or cleaning schedule, you didn't ask me, somebody else asked me about my floors. The cleaning schedule, I really don't have a cleaning schedule. I used to when the girls were little. And I was very organized, and I had things to do every day. I was running here and there and everywhere, so I always would take usually a day, a week, and I would set it aside to clean. I could clean my whole house when I was younger, buddy. I could start and clean all the bathrooms and vacuum everywhere and dust everywhere and be done by noon, I can't do that anymore. This house is a little larger than what we used to live in. But Chris, as you've noticed, does have the air purifiers sitting around the house. That really helps to keep the dust down. Also, not having the dogs. I didn't know this. I didn't realize it because it's been so long since, like, I've never not had a dog, and I didn't realize that they, their dander and they put off a good bit of dust, and of course their dog hair, So I only vacuum probably maybe once a week, maybe. I dust maybe once a week, and of course I keep the bathrooms cleaner. I'm always going over the bathrooms, always going over the toilets, always going over the sinks, always, like every day I do that. Just, take a swishy thing around the toilets and with a little Fabuloso from Walmart. I do that pretty much every day, just to keep the toilet bowls clean and disinfected, and the kitchen sink. I'm a real stickler for that. So front door camera just detected motion. That just popped up, and there's not a silhouette. There's really windy out there today. So anyway, so no, to answer your question, no, I don't have a cleaning schedule anymore. I just do as it's needed. And it's just the 2 of us here, But thank you for that question, Bev, for sure. Okay, number 6, Deborah Savoy. Hi, Deborah. Good morning. Good morning. I would like for you to tell us how you and Chris met. God bless you, Chris, and your whole family. Stay safe. Oh, thank you so much, and God bless you too, honey. Well, Chris and my story is a fun one, I think. I used to work with his cousin at a steakhouse, and I had met his whole family before I even met him. And she was having a get-together at her house one night, and I had a fella at the time, wasn't really a boyfriend, but I had dated him, now and again. And he was supposed to come and never showed up. And Donn, or my cousin, her name is Donna, had invited Chris and their aunt, who was younger. She was like the youngest sister of his mother. His mother and her mother. His mom, Chris's mom, and Donna's mom were sisters. Our sisters. Donna's mom is no longer here, so they were sisters. And I'm sitting there, in Donna's place, just, kind of hanging out, putting out food, whatever. And I look up, and here comes Chris walking in. And I was like, oh. And Donna had said he's very quiet, but, he graduated from the University of Florida, and he's, he's an engineer, and he's, really nice guy, but he's really quiet. And I was like, okay, I can do quiet. Of course, I'm never quiet, So he comes walking in, you guys, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious. He had on a nice pair of jeans, a white shirt, and boots. And I was like, I'd never seen anybody in boots other than, the boys on the farm, those kind of boots. But his kind of boots, I didn't see that kind of boots. And I was like, oh, he's nice looking. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess he kind of felt the same way about me because we did not stop talking. We talked and talked and talked. He was never quiet around me. Chris wasn't, ever. Not once. Not one time, not for a minute, was ever quiet around me. And we just got to know each other that night. And he lived down here in Spotsylvania at the time. I lived in Maryland, where I grew up, and worked in Maryland, you know, and Chris kept coming back. You know, that night, you know, we kind of separated and went our ways. And I guess he felt the same way I did, because the next Tuesday, Donn and I were on our way back up to her place after we had worked. And I looked over and I said, was that Chris coming down the hill here? And she went, it sure was. What's he doing here on a Tuesday night? And I said, I don't know. So we met him and he said, I just came to see if you would want to go out to dinner. And I was like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Yes, I was 19, you guys. I was 19. So he started coming to visit every weekend. You know, and he would stay with his parents who lived in West Virginia, and I would stay at my parents, of course, in Maryland. And, you know, he came to visit every weekend and would go home Sunday nights. And so anyway, we met August 15th and were married the next May. And we will be married in May, 38 years. And I had told my mom, like the weekend after I met Chris, I said, Mom, I think I've met the man I want to marry. And she went, now, Arlen, now, honey. She got all freaked out. She couldn't talk, though. Well, she knew my dad her whole life. But my mom and dad gave their family like a month to plan the wedding, you know. So, but anyway, yeah, that's how I met Chris, and that's our story. He's truly my soulmate, truly, and I think I'm his, you know. It's a God thing, you know. I didn't have control, he didn't have control, it just happened, you know. So thank you for asking me that question. That was a sweet question. Deborah, thank you so much. Okay, number 7, Karen Kilpatrick. Where do you buy your beautiful ribbon for your bows? Buy it from several different places. Thank you for that question, Karen. I get asked this a lot. I have been purchasing a lot from perpetualribbons.com. I haven't bought any, well, I did buy some from Craft Outlet, but anyway, from perpetualribbons.com, from Bobbi, B-O-B-B-I. Not her Etsy shop, but she has a website, perpetualribbons.com. She's very easy to work with. She's a wonderful lady. I highly recommend her ribbon. She's as sweet as the day is long and very, very, very trustworthy and honest. Highly recommend her. So that, for small business and for somebody personal, that's who I use. And she has ribbon that a lot of people don't sometimes, you know. I also get a good bit from craftoutlet.com. I get it from Hobby Lobby, when I can go back into Hobby Lobby, and Michael's, and sometimes from Home Goods. And that's about it. That's about the places that where I get them, where I get my ribbon. Trying to think, yeah, that's it. That's about it. So, hope that helps. I'll give you links to Bobbi and to Craft Outlet, you know, and you know where to find Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and not Home Goods. I say Home Goods at home. Home Goods very rarely has ribbon. At Home does. We have an at-home store. Also, if you have a Trees and Trends in your area, they have beautiful ribbon from Trees and Trends. So, of course, I don't have one of those, right, Danielle? Oh, I would love to. Okay, so thank you for that, Karen. All right, number 8 from Rhonda Schwartz. Well, pretty blue-eyed lady. Oh, thanks. I would love to know what you use on your floors. The shine is beautiful, and what do you do in your spare time? Thanks for your help. God bless your big heart. Well, God bless you too, sweetie, and thank you for the compliment about the blue eyes. Got it from my dad. Quick story there. My mom was a brown-eyed baby. Dad has these blue eyes like me, and she prayed, she said, for her whole pregnancy for me to have blue eyes because, you know, brown is dominant, you know, and she prayed. She was a science teacher. She said, I knew you'd have brown eyes. I knew you'd have brown eyes, but then you had blue eyes. She was happy. Guess she loved my dad's eyes. What I use on my floors, I use something called Bona, B-O-N-A. It is what our builder recommended. I also use Bona to dust my furniture too. I don't use anything special for my furniture, and to keep it, somebody had asked, shining and whatever, and it's just Bona, B-O-N-A. You can buy it at Lowe's and Home Depot and online on Amazon. You can find it, and Bed Bath & Beyond. That's what I use, Bona. So thank you for that, Rhonda. Number 9, Kathy Bacon. Do you ever go somewhere for vacation other than cruising? Not very often, Kathy. Not anymore. Although we have in the past, when our kids were little, we couldn't afford to cruise. We could barely afford, you know, anything, honestly. But we used to go to beaches. We've gone to Disney World. You know, we've been to, somebody asked me later, we've been to Louisiana. I'm getting ready to answer that question. And, you know, other places in the country for vacation. Niagara Falls up in Canada, we went one year. We would love on our bucket list is to see the Grand Canyon and some other places out west, you know. So, but no, not normally right now. While we can, we want to do our cruising, and I'd love to see more of the world, Kathy. It's been a dream of mine my whole life is to travel and to have the experiences. I drink in history, and I drink in that kind of information. I love to learn. I'm like a sponge. I love to learn about different places and things. So not very often now. We like to cruise, and we'll cruise again. Not going to be afraid of cruising either, you guys. Not going to be afraid. Okay, let's see. Okay, Tammy Mango. This kind of is the same question. Hi, Tammy. Thank you for, this is number 10. Good morning. I'd like to know your cleaning routine for your beautiful home. Like I said a little while ago, I really don't have a cleaning routine. I kind of just, you know, I normally won't vacuum without dusting. I'll say that. Usually I'll dust and then I'll vacuum, you know. I wipe down my kitchen counters. As I said, I keep my toilets clean every day. Wipe out the sink in our bathroom, you know. And the kitchen sink every day. Always keep that clean. Keep my counters wiped down and disinfected, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't vacuum like a certain day of the week. I don't dust a certain day of the week. Just kind of do it as needed, you know, nowadays. So that's it, Tammy. Thank you for the question. Number 11, this is from Southern Sass. Carolyn, have you ever been to Louisiana? You would love our plantations, and not to mention our cooking. We have been to Louisiana, but it's been a long, long time. I was pregnant with Kristen, our oldest daughter, when we came to Louisiana on a business trip. We stayed at La Monteleone in right down there in the French Quarter, you know. Sorry, I have a little tickle. But we stayed right down in the French Quarter there. And the ladies and I would shop during the day while the guys went to work. And it was an experience. I'm telling you, ladies, it was an eye-opener for me, Bourbon Street and all that. I'm not used to that type of thing, so I was really naive and had my eyes pop open a couple of times when I was down there. But it's a beautiful, beautiful town. Beautiful. And yes, the food. Oh my word. Oh my word. It was wonderful. We didn't have a bad meal the whole time we were there. I didn't get to see a plantation though, so I'm going to have to come back. I'm going to have to come back to Louisiana to see some plantations. But New Orleans was beautiful. That's where we've been, and you know, it was beautiful. So thank you for that, Southern Sass. Okay, number 12, Michelle Bankus. Thank you for your lovely videos. We are kindred spirits when it comes to decorating. I love the blue and white combination as well. My question for you would be if you have carried that same color scheme up in the upstairs portion of your home. I have not. I have not. I have, if y'all, I'll put a link to my home tour, to my blue and white home tour, where I give you a peek at the bedrooms in that, and the master bedroom too. I give you a peek of the master and all the bedrooms upstairs and bathrooms in that home tour. And I take you up there and I show you, we have 3 bedrooms upstairs and 2 baths and a landing. And I have the bedrooms, I have 2 chairs in the landing that are very florally and very pretty, and I pulled colors out of for each bedroom out of those chairs. I have a turquoise, I have the happy bedroom, which is where Maverick's, somebody asked me that might be next week. Maverick's little crib is gonna go in the happy bedroom, and then I have a purple bedroom that we just redid. So I'll give you a link to that home tour, and you can go and take a peek at our upstairs. But no, I like something different. I like to work with something different up there. I like the challenge of working with different things, you know, sometimes in different genres of decor and that kind of thing. So, okay, that was number 12. Thank you, Michelle, for that. Number 13, Diane Sanders. Hi, Diane. Hi, Arlene. Probably none of my business, but what does your husband do for a living? I imagine you work harder keeping your home so beautiful, haha. And how is your pregnant daughter feeling? Stay safe. Well, Chris, I can't tell you what he did for a living. I just can't. But I will tell you that he is an engineer, a mechanical engineer, and he put that to good use in his career. He had a very good career, very long, very good, very nice career. He is now retired. So he works at being retired right now. I told him I had this question. He said, tell him you need to wake me up. I can't get him to sit down. Wake him up. He goes more than I do, and that's saying something. He goes. He's never, that's why we like going out to lunch together, because it pulls us together in the daytime, you know? It pulls us together for that hour, hour and a half, or whatever it takes us to eat our lunch together and talk and converse with one another. Because when we get home, I usually am doing my videos. He's out doing whatever, or downstairs, or a myriad of things. The man is never idle. He can fix anything. As you all know, he's a jack of all trades and a master of many. I have to say that. Master of many, 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 many. So he's an awesome, awesome man. Okay. My pregnant daughter, Candace, is feeling great. She just entered into her 3rd trimester. Whoop, whoop. Mr. Maverick is kicking like crazy. He's kicking, and Dustin has been able to feel him, you know, from the outside, and she's doing great. She's doing absolutely wonderful. Of course, we're concerned with all of this COVID-19 and all of that, and hopefully all of this will have gone away. He's due at the end of June, so we're hoping and praying that, you know, all will go smoothly with his birth and, you know, all of that. So, but she's doing fine. Thank you so much for asking after her. Okay, number 14, Jenny DeVoltz. Good morning. Hope yours is okay. Do you glue all of your swags? I try to attach with wire so I can redo, but should I glue when selling items? I could offer different season topper to the lantern when selling. Sorry, more than one question. What is all kind of one question though? It depends on what I'm making. Jenny, to be honest with you, I have given a gift of a lantern and done just what you have just described. I gave her a bow topper for like a generic time of the year, and I gave her one for fall. I think whatever time of the year, I gave her one for fall, I believe. But that would be a cool thing if you had an Etsy shop, or if you have your own shop or whatever, to have a lantern there, but then offer different swags. Now you can, and in that case, I would definitely glue the swags, you know, glue your florals in or whatever, you know. I think that would be safer. You know, you wouldn't want somebody to get that home and it fall apart on them or something like that. As you all have seen, for those of you who've been with me, I use a lot of tie wraps in my swags to tie florals, you know, behind the bow, you know, and then, but when I do in the bow, if I add something in the bow, I'm going to turn around here at this lantern and show you this bow topper here. I will glue that in. This bow topper, I can't reach it behind you guys here, that I have here on this lantern. Right here. Ugh, let me see if I can turn it. I didn't glue that. I just pulled the ivy. There we go. The ivy, that is 2 ivy swags. And I turned them upside down on one another and tied them together with the. Then I tied the funky bow on, and then I just pulled the leaves in and through the bow. So that would be a good idea for a bow topper too. Now, if I wanted to add some white florals, I would glue them into that. I feel sure I would. So I do both, Jenny. And I know I'm kind of talking in circles here, but I do both. So, you know, you do what makes you feel more comfortable, I would say. And, you know, I don't make things for people unless it's family, you know. So, you know, I do whatever I want to do. You know, sometimes it's gluing and sometimes it's just using tie wraps. So, I hope that helped. I felt like I talked in circles. Okay, number 15, Sweet Julie. Hi, Julie Monroe. What a sweetheart. Oh my goodness. If you guys, I have to see if I can find a link. She is doing so well on Instagram, Julie is. She has a wonderful Instagram channel, you guys, and or whatever you call that, Instagram account. She does beautiful, beautiful work. And I encourage you to go and check her out. I'll see if I can find a link and put Julie's link down there for her Instagram. She does wonderful, wonderful work. She says, hi, sweet friend, always so beautiful inside and out. Oh, so are you, honey, so are you. Do you have any daily routines? And if so, can you share? Oh my Lord, Julie, I am the most routine-ridden person ever. It's harder though with this being in this isolation like this, I will admit. But yes, I do the same things. I'm very, very organized in my physical, what I do physically and what I do in my head, you know. But every morning I get up, I grab my tea, grab my cup of tea. I usually get up between 7:30 usually, and go grab my cup of tea, and I sit down in the morning for the first couple of hours with my computer, and I either answer questions or give hearts, or, you know, I'm still the admin in some cruising groups that I have to answer questions and police in there. And I do that, or, you know, text with Stacy a lot of times in the morning. I'll talk with her, my kids, my girls that I have a three-way chat going on now through text every day. So just kind of get caught up, get started on my day, get my motor running, you know. Then I head off to the shower and get my shower and do my hair, my makeup, even during this time. Even while I'm in isolation, there's not been one day that I have not gone through my morning routine of getting my shower, putting my makeup on, doing my hair, which is getting harder and harder to do every day. So I'm trying to hide the gray, and it's getting more difficult every day. Then after that, during isolation here, Chris and I usually will have lunch at Cafe Island, and then go out for a ride. And then come back, usually for about an hour, hour and a half, then come back and I'll usually video something or edit. And then after that, you know, that usually, I mean, editing can take me hours, you guys. I don't know that you guys understand about editing so much. And I know some of you do, some of you creators certainly do. Absolutely understand how much time it can take. But it can take me sometimes 3-4 hours to edit one video. So I do a lot of editing, you know. And somebody asked me, did I already read that in my spare time? Did I don't think I answered that. Who asked me that? Well, there it was. Rhonda, you had asked me and I didn't answer that. I'm so sorry, honey. So I will answer that now here with Julie's. Julie, I hope you don't mind if I answer Rhonda's question too. I don't have a lot of idle time, if I'm honest, you guys. I do. And then after I'm done on my editing or whatever I'm doing, or videoing or cleaning, or that's what I'll do, my cleaning usually, or whatever other, you know, organizing I'm doing, whatever. Then we have dinner, and then after dinner is usually when I really relax. I really relax. I watch TV. I've been watching, you know, whatever. I have a whole backload of stuff that I've been still trying to work through since my vacation, since we were gone for so long, you know. But I usually watch TV, you know, in the evenings, or very rarely read. I used to read a lot, but I don't do that so much anymore. And I do, you know, get back on my computer and give hearts and, you know, read comments and that kind of thing. But I don't have a lot of idle time. I'm not a real idle person. So that's kind of how I go through my day. Okay, and okay, number 16, Peggy Jones. Arlene, have you ever thought of publishing, oh, listen to you, a small cookbook of your favorite dishes? Also, a decorative coffee table book of your home decor and seasonal changes. Thank you, Peggy Jones. As regarding a cookbook, I have never considered that, Peggy. I always think my recipes are so simple that I think who would ever want to, you know, have a cookbook of that, you know. I really don't cook anything elaborate. Really, I don't. So what I cook is classic and good, you know, comfort food and that kind of thing. But so I've never considered that. And as far as a coffee table book, I have been asked about that several times, as a matter of fact, and I've showed these books. I showed these books to you last week about what my daughter did. I wouldn't even know how to, you know, do something like that. A lot of you ask me if I do the home tours and stuff at Christmas time. If they do that in my area, I wouldn't mind doing that this year because Mr. Sam is gone, you know, so I wouldn't mind inviting people in if Chris would allow it, you know, to do that. But I wouldn't know how to start to do a coffee table book like that. I wouldn't know how to do that, so I guess the answer is no then, because I wouldn't know how to do it. So, okay, number 7. Well, thank you, Peggy, for that question. Okay, number 17 from Erna Cassis. I would like to know how you book your cruises and the best way. Thank you. I book through my travel agent. That's how I book my cruises. My travel agent's name is Pam Cheek, and I can give you her information in the description of this video. I love her. She's very good at what she does, and that's how I book my vacations. Now, Chris usually will handle all of our airfare, any hotels, usually, unless I'm doing a pre or post hotel through the cruise line, then I do that too sometimes. But my cruises, I book through a travel agent, and I highly recommend any of you out there who do want to go cruise, and I hope that you do. I highly recommend a travel agent because they can help you. For instance, when I was on the Emerald Princess there, you know, my travel agent and her boss, who I'm very good friends with both of them, and I'm an admin, you know, in the Alaska Cruises on Princess group on Facebook, and they both told me, Arlene, if you all want to get off that ship, we will get you off at the next port. We'll bring you home. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We've got you. We've got your back. We've got your back. You know, and that's the type of thing. If you get into any trouble, they can, you know, arrange airfare. They can arrange anything like that. I usually get travel insurance too. You guys always get travel insurance when you cruise. It's very important. You never know. Like, all this happened. You never know what could happen, you know. And so I book through a travel agent. We have never booked a cruise on her, never booked, and every other vacation that I've ever planned in my whole life, I've done myself. But I feel more comfortable doing it through a travel agent for cruising. It's a bigger kind of deal, you know, vacation. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. And next one is from Dixie. Hey, Dixie. Dixie Thompson. Hi, Arlene. I'm just thinking ahead because I have a bad habit of that. I do too. I'm wondering if you add anything to your beautiful blue and white decor for summertime. Lemons, ladybugs. Glad you're hanging in there. We're all safe here too in California. Not usually. Usually my next decor series will probably be patriotic, to be honest. And I will probably just infuse it into my blue and white, to be honest. That was kind of my goal this year. I've kind of set that goal for myself to go through each season. Of course, I wasn't here for Easter, so that was difficult to do. Maybe I'll do that next year. That'll be a project for us for next year. But I do want to just kind of infuse some patriotic in. I don't want it to be full out, it's patriotic, you know, in Arlene's house. I want it to be a touch. I want it to be more subtle this year, if that makes sense. And I don't know how much time I'll have, actually, because of Mr. Maverick coming. And Candace is going to need her mama's help, and I'm going to be there for her. And I don't want to have bins and everything sitting around all over the place. So I'll probably just work on a vignette here and there and do that kind of thing. But I don't usually do lemons or ladybugs. Not necessarily either of one of those. I did do a red and yellow decor for my front porch. I may pull that back out for summer. That may be my next decor I go to there on my front porch. No, that'll probably be patriotic too. So I'm not sure. Maybe August, you know. I'm not sure. But usually I just go right into patriotic because I love it. I love the patriotic. I love what it means to us. You know what I mean? So not only do I like to decorate with that, but I also just love the feeling it brings in my home. So I hope that made sense. Thank you, Dixie. Okay, 2 more. How long have I gone? 45 minutes. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get yelled at. Number 19, Diane Pruitt. Arlene, you're about to experience one of life's greatest joys. Becoming a grandmother. Have you decided what your new little grandson will call you and Chris? Have you seen an ultrasound picture of your grandson? What is the theme of the baby shower? We're in isolation, honey. God bless you and happy Resurrection Day. Amen. Love you to bits and virtual hugs all around. Same thing back. I don't know what Little Maverick will call me. Candace and I have talked about it, and Dustin, and they called my mom Grandma, and I called my grandmother Mooney. You know, I don't know what little Mr. Maverick. And Candace says, why don't we just let him call you whatever he wants to call you, whatever he comes up with? And I said, well, that's perfectly fine with me too. So we might just have to wait to see what Mr. Maverick comes up with, you know? Oh, I can't wait. Oh my goodness. I have seen an ultrasound picture, and if Candace will let me, I'll put it here and show you. He's doing fine and dandy. I was going to throw a, not really a baby shower. Candace is in her early 30s, and it was her request that she didn't want to burden anybody with giving her gifts. Those were her words. And so I said, well, can we give you a cookout? You know, and she said, well, yeah, we can come for a cookout. So I was going to be planning a cookout for May, just with family, you know, just with family. But now I don't know. And I don't know what I'm doing because of this. I don't know where we're going with this COVID-19 thing. So we just got to wait and see. May have to wait till after Mr. is born, and then we'll go from there, you know. We're kind of riding on the seat of our pants right now, aren't we? Hanging on. So I think that answered all your questions. All right, and then number 20. Let's see. This is from Sandy McCoyne. Hi, coming at you from Chattanooga, Tennessee, just 2 hours away from the gold old Smoky Mountains. Have you ever been to Pigeon Forge or Dollywood? I have not, and I have not. Chris has been to Pigeon Forge on a job one time. He was. Just wanted to wish you a happy Easter. We want, as we want to have our big family of 42 getting together for Easter. It's just not going to happen. And she goes on to tell me a little bit more about herself. She says she's going to read some verses from the Bible and thank God I'm okay and pray for others who are in. Oh, that's so sweet. What are you cooking? Still pray for my dad who fell and broke his hips. Bless his heart. Bless his heart, Sandy. I'm so sorry. We will sure pray for him. Wish we could see him. He's still in rehab. With lots of love and prayers. For those of you out there that have parents or anyone in a nursing home or in rehab like that, my heart goes out to you. I can't imagine having my mom, you know, and Kim over there at Sweet Daisy Creations. My heart just goes out to her and her sister and their kids. And, you know, you can't get to them. You can't go into the nursing homes right now. And that just breaks my heart for them to think about that. And I know that my dad and I would have been just terrible, terrible. It would have been horrible. So, but that's it. I'm not really, I don't know what I'm cooking on Easter. I don't know. I don't know. We don't have anything planned. It's just Chris and I, you know, so I don't know. But that's it. That's all 20. That's all 20, and that's 48 minutes. Oh my gracious, that's enough. I'm going to shut my computer here, and I'll come back next week if there are more questions to answer and do another Q&A. But thank you guys so much for your questions. As you see, I'm an open book. I don't, you know, have anything to hide, and you know, I pretty much will tell you anything about me, about myself especially. So anyway, that's it. Thank you guys so much for stopping in here, and if you have more questions, or if any of these questions brought on more questions, put them in the comments and I'll record them and I keep them in order. I'm going to go back to my little post from last week first, take the questions off of there. And then I'll come back to these comments under this video and I'll start collecting from here. So feel free to ask me questions. Again, hang in there, you guys, hang in there. I think we're coming to the end of this. I think we can see a glimmer of hope there at the glimmer of light flashing there at the end of the tunnel. So just hang in there. We can get through this together, you guys. We can do it. We can do it. So let me just go into some final words here and say that I hope all is well with everyone. And for those of you who may be struggling or suffering with a catastrophic illness or chronic pain, I hope that you have someone there with you, taking care of you, helping you get through each day, making the very, very best out of each day. I hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or from where it should be. I love you all to bits, to bits, to bits, hugs all around. And I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And with all that said, I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.